And welcome to another edition of Carnivore Bites. I'm your host, Jeff Sherman, along with Dr. Eric Lopkin. And, oh boy, Dr. Lopkin. And I think he needs a doctor. I saw this Karl Rove was on TV, and it's like actually many people like Donald Trump's policies. But the Twitter thing is becoming more and more unglued, starting with Bolton. Okay, so you fire Bolton. I'm a little on the fence about that one as well, because I thought, maybe because you don't 100% agree with him, you fire him. He was an experienced guy. He has some good views. Not all of them are good. Yes, he's a little bit of you could say, warmonger, but he's certainly not. It's good to have him on the team. Other foreign players take him seriously. So he's good to have on the team. And then firing him, fine. People get fired. Then you have a Rose Garden ceremony, and you say, Mr. Bolton was, we thank you so much for your service. It's great. But the way he did it was just inexplicable.
Yeah, he's been doing that more and more. He needs to stay off Twitter. I mean, I do not understand. I mean, I don't agree with the firing of Bolton.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to have different opinions in the administration. You don't want everybody in lockstep because you want to be able to explore all the situations, look at it from all sides. So it's good that people disagree. Now, of course, presidents traditionally don't necessarily agree with that. They want their way all the time. Trump
this is a new level. Really, and what bothers me, Dr. Lopkin, he's supposed to be this great business person, right? Which I am coming more and more to come to grips with the fact I'm not sure about that. So sure about that. But he's got name besides Dr. Ben Carson. His cabinet is like a bunch of B and Pompeo. I'll give him that, but mostly a bunch of B players.
Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is, if you were an A player, would you want to deal with this kind of work environment? The A players that he's nominated, never mind, going through confirmation hearings, most of them have turned down the positions before any confirmation hearings started because they don't want to deal with this toxic environment.
Yes, I agree. Joining his team is the end of a career. It's like, okay, I had a friend that was in business, right? Worked for Aetna, a couple other companies. Then he fell on hard times. He got laid off, okay? And he got desperate, and he sold cars. And the interesting part about that is, you think, okay, you sell cars, then you could sell other. It's like the end of a career for some reason. You understand what I'm saying, Dr. Lopkin? It's just,
right.
You don't recover from being a car salesman. I don't know why, but it just happens. I think kind of the same thing holds true. Like you were part of that. Now, it's not a career ender, but it doesn't help you.
It doesn't help you. I mean, part of the problem is a lot of other presidents have had this kind of turmoil, not the firing, but the disagreements and the chaos behind the scenes, but it stayed behind the scenes. Trump seems to have no filter whatsoever. I mean, during the 2016 campaign, transparency was a big topic. Both Hillary and Trump were saying, oh, they're going to be transparent. Obama was talking about he was going to be transparent. Unfortunately, this is what transparency looks like. I mean, because we are finding out everything. And quite frankly, the American people don't want to know this.
No, I actually agree with Twitter, okay? That you got fake news, you got CNN, you got, MSNBC, you got the national media networks. It's a great strategy, and I think it worked at the beginning of his administration. I thought it was very effective. It's evolved or de-evolved into nonsense. I mean, right. He can tweet about the waiter at Denny's not preparing the omelet effectively enough. It's turning off many voters. If the economy goes south or there's bad news about the economy, he could be in real trouble where he had this thing wrapped up
Well, he
because
could be in real trouble even if there isn't problems with the economy at this point, because his tweets are causing problems. He has been going on and on about the Fed, how they haven't dropped interest rates. Well,
less than zero.
yeah, the Fed
He has
hasn't dropped interest rates because there's no need to drop them. But he keeps attacking this, and when he puts forward, well, we need lower interest rates, it gives the impression that we have a weaker economy than we really do. It's gotten to the point that JP Morgan introduced an index earlier in the week that measures the volatility in the market caused by Trump's tweets.
I agree with all of it. And let's go to the bigger picture: is the election. He had this thing; it was his to lose. I mean, just shut up. That's why I question the judgment, and it is something really bad. It really, really is. It's not a joke. It's there's something really wrong with him because you just shut up, do your job, you tweet once in a while. You know, when MSNBC or CNN does something stupid, what they do, fine, 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 right? But now, I mean, and then you're up against potentially Elizabeth Warren. It's just shut up and you win. Even if I have to say, even if the economy was softening, you're up against Elizabeth. You got it, dude.
Yeah,
Am I wrong or not?
no, you've got it right. At the beginning, during the campaign and at the beginning of his administration, his tweets were more like press releases. But
Yeah.
instead of going to the media, he was addressing the general public and
And
getting
kind
his
of
point of
refreshing.
view out. Now they're just rants. He's
I can't argue with you. Yeah, I mean, it's just
I
rants,
mean,
and it's showing somebody it's becoming unhinged.
I I preface this by saying I am not a psychologist. I don't have psychological training, but from a layman's point of view, it looks like he is desperate for attention. He's suffering from an inferiority complex
Oh God, yes,
because
absolutely.
this is like he's desperately
Oh,
trying to prove that he's the smartest man in the room. And
it's
quite
a
frankly, he
stereotypic.
isn't.
It's a stereotypical bully. Okay, when the bully, if you really did the deep dive into the psychological makeup of a bully, they really they lack confidence, or else they would be self-assured. You don't need to beat anyone up or put anyone else down. It's so simple. So he's becoming unglued. I think, at this point, good likelihood he would face Elizabeth Warren. He could have cleaned her clock. Now there's a big question mark.
There's a
I mean,
big
and
question
does
mark.
he have the ability to clean it up before the election or not?
I
I
don't
don't
know
think
if he
so.
does. I mean, I know that, in the campaign, there are people who are going to be giving him advice to stop this and to, rein it in. He has shown no ability to listen to that advice to date. So I don't know if he's really going to be able to. The only thing I can say that's really working in his favor now is actually the fact that Elizabeth Warren is now the Democratic frontrunner,
I think
because
she's going to
there
win,
were
actually.
I don't know,
I,
because there were a
I,
lot of people talking this week, major industry people, even, on both sides of the aisles, Democrats and Republicans, who were saying Elizabeth Warren is a danger to the economy. She cannot be allowed to win. And they will be, trying to keep Trump in office.
that's the only thing Trump has going for him. I think Biden is absolutely finished. Um, and I actually, to be honest with you, am very scared. Biden, it would be a disaster. Not a disaster. It would be not good. But he's incompetent. But the world would go on.
Right.
If any
Biden
of these
would be a
Democrats,
horrible president. Biden would be a
But you-
horrible president, but he would be a horrible president on the level that we've had horrible presidents before and we always get through it.
exactly. Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, any of the above, you're talking about maybe irrevocable damage. Like you're talking about an immediate recession could throw the markets into a depression. Yeah, am I wrong?
It's very possible with some of the policies that they've been talking about. The cost of these
It's
policies
not even the
are
cost.
astronomical.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, no, it is.
You,
It is a lot of it because you can't put the policies in place without destroying existing economic infrastructure, without raising taxes on everybody. So you
oh
are
no, all of
talking
that's
about a
true. No,
complete
I agree with
economic
yes,
disaster.
disaster. Plus, what she's talking about. I mean, like it's just so bad, and it's really sad that Trump has no competent people in his in his cabinet. I mean, they're all lightweight, just schlock. He has got no one that can say stop it. No
Well,
strategist. No one.
the
No.
big
I know he
problem
doesn't
is that
listen to him. I get it, but
not
it's
even
just
that he
weird.
doesn't listen to him. It's the fact that he needs to believe he's the smartest person in the room. Well, when you get competent people in the room with you, you have to face the fact that you're not. And he will not do that. So he doesn't have the best and the brightest working with him.
No question. They're all lapdogs. They're all B. Caramucci. Of course, he flipped, but these people, they have no right to be in the cabinet. These people, even Kellyanne Conway, like she's B minus. I mean, come on, really, really. The
I mean,
thing is a disaster.
it's absolutely ridiculous. And I find it hysterical now that, Congress has come back after their summer break and they have reinstated impeachment processes.
Well,
They're still
that's going
going
to help
after
some.
they're still going after him for impeachment. And quite frankly, if they backed off and kept their mouths shut, Trump would do himself in. These None of these people seem to be able to get out of their own way to get what they want.
Exactly. In closing, you do agree the impeachment hearings help Trump because they're just
Oh, yes,
so
because
ridiculous.
the more they push impeachment, the more it's going to energize Trump's base.
Agreed. Well, that concludes another edition of Carnivore Bites. Thanks a lot, Dr. Lockman.
See you next week. You've been listening to Carnivore Bites, part of the Exvadio Podcast Network. You can catch us every week at exvadio.com/podcasts, on the iHeartRadio app, the Apple Podcasts app, the iTunes Store, Spotify, and wherever you find podcasts. You can also catch us live every Friday at 4 on WESU FM 88.1.